October 26, 2023. Peace is a part to the prosperity of the nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, Supreme Court dismisses PDP Atiku Abubakar's CSU evidence on election petition appeal. Dean of Student Affairs Uniport reacts to killing of 300-level female students. Rivers State House of Assembly begin a screening of 5 new commissioners designate. Students of Ignatius Ajuru University appeal to Rivers State Governor for financial aid amid fee hike. On the foreign scene, police in U.S. begin manhunt for killer of 16 people in Maine, Lewiston. I am Ifechuku Moyeli with the news. The Supreme Court has dismissed the application of the PDP and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to present new evidence on the election petition appeal. Justice Eyang Okoro said Atiku failed to convince the Supreme Court why he waited until the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal concluded the appellant's suit. Justice Okoro said Atiku's lawyers were tardy and not diligent in obtaining the documents from CSU. Justice Okoro noted that Atiku's attempt to introduce fresh evidence with a view to extend the time to adjudicate the case is unfortunate. On the 25% vote in the Federal Capital Territory, the Supreme Court upholds the appeal court's ruling on FCT, saying the decision of the appeal court is unassailable. The court also ruled that the failure of INEC to transmit the election result on the INEC result viewing portal did not affect the outcome of the presidential election. Justice Okoro is still reading the final ruling. We will bring you details as they unfold. As you may know, the Supreme Court ruling will end all legal battles to nullify the election of APC's Bola Tinubu as president. Moving on now, the decomposing body of a 300-level biochemistry female student of the University of Port Harcourt who was declared missing has been found inside a nylon bag after she was allegedly killed by a man in Port Harcourt. The student was reported missing 4 days ago. Viral videos on social media showed how the corpse was wrapped in a nylon and a young man suspected to be her boyfriend being handcuffed by local vigilantes in the area. It was gathered that the young man was about to dispose of the body last night before he was caught. Now, he has been handed over to the police. The River State Police Command and the management of Uniport have yet to speak on this. The suspect involved in the killing of the 300-level biochemistry female student of the University of Port Harcourt, Justice Otwene Nkang, is also a student of the university. The Dean of Student Affairs at Uniport, Chima Nwokocha, made this known in an interview with correspondent Martha Okiri-Nkem shortly after he and the Vice-Chancellor of Uniport, Professor George Will Owunari, paid a visit to the police station where the suspect was being held this morning. Professor Nwokocha named the suspect as Okoligwe Damian Chimeme of the Department of Petroleum Engineering. He said the university is embarrassed and it will not rest until justice is done.
I want to assure you that the university will not try to stop the process of law, and the university is also worried about its image with this kind of incidents. And the Vice Chancellor insisted that justice must be done because there is no student here who has a right to kill or get physical with anybody. It's wrong. The punishment for fighting or getting physical in university is outright expulsion. And in the university also, through the Vice Chancellor, has told the police to do everything possible to unravel the mystery surrounding in the death of this very promising young lady.
Professor Nwokocha said the management of Uniport has ensured that the university's premises are safer for students.
We go around university and we spend late hours outside making sure the children are secured. You have patrol vehicles, we go around university. Yesterday we came in at about 1 o'clock to make sure that everywhere is safe. And we're achieving our aim. We also make sure that the gates of the university are shut by 10. And that is why we're pleading with the public. The Uber drivers, the boat drivers. If a student calls you into Uniport, once it's after 10, don't come there because the gates will not be open to you. No going in by strange vehicles except staff.
The Uniport Dean of Student Affairs also called on parents to always advise their wards and children against the urge for quick wealth.
they should caution their words. This thing about quick wealth, this thing about relationships, it didn't used to be like that in those days. People used to be serious about what they were doing. You see a girl of 19, 20, and she has strings of lovers. I mean, to what achievement, what benefit, what gain? And so I implore parents and guidance to try and caution their words and control and monitor their words. And if they see their words doing things that ought, they should report immediately to the university authority if they're in report, or to the police, so that these kind of things can be curbed.
In the meantime, the Vice President of the National Union River State Student NURSS, Miller Ibiapu Owuma, has advised female students to be watchful of the kind of friends they keep. Ibiapu Owuma spoke on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire following the report of the alleged killing of a 300-level student of the University of Port Harcourt by her boyfriend. She also advised students to inform people of places they visit.
I'm only going to advise young girls, because the world as it is getting darker by the day. I'm only going to advise young students to be careful of where they go to and try to make sure they let one or two persons know where they are going to. Because these days we're not even scared of going out of the house in the night, going to night parties, and this could have happened during holiday periods. Also, it did not happen in the school premises. The university management should not in any way be held responsible.
Speaking on the hike in fees at the Ignatius Ajuru University, the president of NURRS, Precious Abbey, says the union would ensure that the state government begins the payment of bursaries of River State students in tertiary institutions.
The recent school fees hike in our various institutions, will look into it, and also meet up with school management to also liaise with them in order to consider the students. The SN Student Affairs made it clearly known that the governor is definitely going to pay bursary to River State students, and I want to also reassure River State students that and we will definitely meet with the SN Student Affairs, then the governor, and immediately discuss on the bursary payment so we can know how to go about it.
Yesterday, some students of Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, Rumolumeni, urged the River State government to provide them with loans and bursaries following the increase in school, hostel and other fees by the management of the university for the 2023-2024 academic session. They told our correspondent that the university also introduced a new fee that will be paid before students can access the students' portal without considering the economic challenges they face.
Not just the school fees, the payments we are making is too much, and the economy is very bad. Which one is professional development fee? VC precisely should have in mind that the parents here have nothing doing, and we the students, we are struggling to train ourselves. Increasing the school fees yearly is not favoring the student anymore.
Payment in our school is getting out of hand. We were asked to pay 6,300 for water access fee.
Considering the economic challenge now, we are unable to afford this school fees. We are also calling on the state government to help us with student loan.
I'm in 100 level and my portal fee is 7,300. The increment was not what we expected, and our school fees too has increased.
We are suffering and we are calling on the government to provide us student loan and bursary.
A memo cited by our correspondent showed that the school fees of River State indigents rose from between 38,200 and 64,600 to between 65,300 and 94,100. The fees for non-indigents rose from between 61,300 and 91,600 to 121,100. Also, extra year students will now pay 87,800 instead of 58,300. In another development, a parent is accusing the principal of Community Secondary School, Ubarama, Ahoda West Local Government Area of River State, of collecting money from prospective WAEC and NECO candidates. This is despite a warning issued by the State Commissioner for Education, Professor Chinedu Umom, cautioning head teachers and principals of public schools against collecting money for the registrations of WAEC, NECO, and BECE exams. In an interview, the parents expressed concern that these illegal charges are mostly being collected in public schools in rural communities.
We heard the governor has ordered for free education in Rivers State. But these things are not getting done to some part of the communities that makes up Rivers State. Unlike Obarama community, I understand that the principal in that school is taking from the student 8,500 for picking up form, and is also asking the student to pay the sum of 24,000 for WAEC registration and NECO, whereby other communities in Rivers State, such as Port Harcourt mainly, those things are not obtainable.
Recall that earlier this month, State Commissioner for Education Chinedu Mom described such registration fees as illegal.
These examinations are being paid by Rivers State government free of charge for all our children enrolled in public schools in Rivers State. I'm re-emphasizing this because of the calls I receive from parents, some guidance that some principals have printed forms and says enrollment forms for NECO and WAEC and charging as much as 12, 15, 20,000 as the case may be. I have sent some persons who may form to be parents to register their students or their wards. Once you become a culprit, that is not abeg, the hammer of the law will hit on you. Please don't sabotage the efforts of the Rivers State government.
Moving on, the winner of the 2023 Nigeria Prize for Literature, Obari Gomba, has encouraged fellow writers to be diligent in their pursuit for excellence. As you may know, Dr. Gomba, who teaches literature and creative writing at the University of Port Harcourt, beat two other playwrights to win the 2023 Nigeria Prize for Literature for his play, Grit. Sharing his personal journey to success on Nigeria Info FM's Hello Port Harcourt, Dr. Gomba said he refused to give up on his writing endeavors despite facing disappointment. He said his work had been shortlisted 5 times since 2013 before he won the prestigious award.
Each time I've competed, I've always hoped to win. But I have what I call cautious optimism with a book called The Length of Eyes, and it made the initial shortlist of 11. The second time I competed was 2017 with a book called For Every Homeland, and it made the initial shortlist of 11. The third time was 2018 with Gorilla Post. It made the initial shortlist of 11. Last year, I competed with The Lead of a Rebel. It made the initial shortlist of 11. And I believe that for making the initial shortlist of 11 is something very, very significant because you have entries from all over the world.
Dr. Gomba also expressed concern about the decline in Nigeria's reading culture. He called on authors to make their books more appealing and desirable to readers.
We have a lot of things competing with the readership now. Television is one of them. The internet is one of them. We need to come to a point where we can learn to publish on those devices that people find easy to read from. For the younger people who are coming up, there's a likelihood that they'll be more at home reading stuff on their iPad or handset, laptops and stuff like that. So we must get books into those devices. In advanced societies all over the world, you have audio books, you also have books in print. Each of these formats targets a category of readership, so we need to pay attention to that.
The Nigeria Prize for Literature event, which honored Obari Gomba, was organized by the Nigeria Prize for Literature. Other finalists included Abidin Ojomu, the playwright for Ojuelegba Crossroads, and Henry Akubiro, the author of Yam Tarawala, The Warrior King. In other news, the Rivers State House of Assembly today confirmed the 5 commissioner designates recommended by Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The commissioner designates are Gift Nwolu, Austin Ben Chioma, Isaac Umejuru, Joseph Johnson, and Victor Key. Recall that the state government assigned portfolios to 14 commissioners in June and has since left other ministries without commissioners. Such ministries are Environment, Information and Communication, Budget and Economic Planning, Commerce and Industry, Agriculture, Land and Survey, Culture and Tourism, Local Government Affairs, Water Resources and Rural Development, Housing and others. The Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has tendered an apology to the state governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, over the political crisis in the state. Aidatiwa, who said this during a press briefing in Akure, expressed concern that the governor has faced embarrassment and discomfort since the incident began. The understate deputy governor pledged his loyalty to the governor. Still to come, Ohanaeze Ndigbo to sue federal government over ministerial slot. Stay with us.
The details.
The stories.
With the updates.
Your number one station for talk brings it all.
Nigerian politics is more strategic. Even look at
have raised concerns over an increased level of depression as they try to adapt to their host countries. They told our correspondent that they face challenges of acceptance, identity crisis, and other issues which affect their mental health and productivity.
I recently moved to the UK like a year ago without a family, no husband, no family whatsoever. It was just like a few more months before winter. There's something winter does to people. If you are depressed, it makes you more depressive. And if you aren't depressed, you plummet into depression. There's this sense of I'm all alone. It sort of just deals with your productivity. For me, it led to suicidal thoughts. I wasn't myself.
For me, I would not expressly call it depression, but rather culture shock I felt when I moved. I missed my friends back in Nigeria. At a point, I even felt like I made a mistake. I don't know if it was the food.
I think the most challenging part, if you don't have someone where you are that you can relate with easily, someone that has to guide you on things that you need to do or things you need to know.
They also spoke on various actions they are taking to help themselves.
I told my school counselor about it and I was put into therapy. I believe you could take up some type of exercise. If you're a gym freak, you could start small, or you could just go on runs. I used to go running every morning, kept my mind active. For me, I started doing volunteer work. If you don't have a job, I would really consider you getting a job. You could go out, to these events, African events, whatever, like any event at all. It helps you meet people. I really turned up the button on my spiritual life. I prayed a lot.
I even engaged in church activities. I'm a music person, so I volunteered to play for an organization. I engaged in social activities, kept in touch with family and friends back home through, regular phone calls, video chat.
The Ohanaeze Ndigbo has threatened to sue the federal government for appointing just 5 ministers from the southeast. The President General of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Emmanuel Iwanyanwo, said this during a press conference in Owerri. He said the federal government is not being fair to the southeast. In business, the Nigerian Railway Corporation says it will launch electronic ticketing for the standard gauge network next week. The managing director of the NRC, Fidet Okeria, who announced this, explained that the final testing phase of the e-ticketing platform would enable it to go live for a restricted audience before becoming available to the general public. In entertainment, the parents of the late singer Mohbad say their son stopped going to shows for 6 months because of fear of the constant beating, harassment, and bullying he got from his former label owner, Naira Marley, and his ally, Sam Larry. The late singer's parents said this to the coroner's inquest that is looking into the cause of his death. In sports, the board of the Nigerian National League, NNL, has postponed the kickoff date of the 2023-2024 league season to a yet-to-be-announced date. Chairman of the NNL board, George Aluo, said the postponement was necessitated by the inability of teams to complete their registration process.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Hundreds of police officers across the state have begun a manhunt for the gunman who shot and killed 16 people yesterday night in Lewiston, Maine. Lewiston, a small city of about 38,000 people, has been put on lockdown. Businesses have been told to close and people to stay at home. Police have named 40-year-old Robert Card as a person of interest, saying he is armed and dangerous.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. The Supreme Court has upheld the election of President Bola Tinubu after dismissing Atiku's appeal challenging tribunal judgment. The Dean of Student Affairs, Uniport, has reacted to the killing of 300-level female students. Rivers State House of Assembly has screened the 5 commissioners designate recommended to it by the state governor, Fubara. Students of Ignatius Ajuro University are appealing to the Rivers State government for financial aid amid fee hike. And on the foreign scene, police in the U.S. have begun a manhunt for the killer of 16 people in Maine, Lewiston. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. You can see pictures and watch videos of news stories when you like us on Facebook and follow us on X at Nigeria Info PH. On Instagram, it's at NigeriaInfoFM_PH. For any eyewitness report and breaking news, text and send your WhatsApp pictures and videos to our news desk line on 0808-721-7215. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.